A couple of years ago, we decided that family members and we were all going to take a trip to Europe. And after I had so much fun working with Beppino Occelli's cheeses in the last couple of years, well, maybe 5 years, it was decided that we were going to go to this area to visit him. So it was a fantastic trip. And Sunday morning arrived and we got up, decided, okay, let's make sure that we're on time. So about an hour and a half from Alba, hair-raising drive through the Valcasotto, I guess I'm pronouncing it correctly. We arrived at this place called Pomponero. The GPS said to go one way and the sign to Pomponero said the other. Anyway, we arrived at the caves. We were met by a wonderful representative. We walked in about a half hour early and the fellow behind the counter said, "Cathy, is that you?" And I said, "Oh my gosh, yes. Well, we'll be with you in about 25 minutes, so feel free to look around and we'll take you on the tour." So we met Umberto, a lovely gentleman from Beppino Occelli, came to greet us and to take us through the caves. It was an amazing experience. I asked him how many people come through this amazing medieval cave. He said, per year, he said, oh, about 200. 200 in a year? Like, we're 6 right now. He said, yes, it's very, very special experience. We also have to keep everything at absolute temperature. So if we have too many people going through the caves, that disrupts everything. So we keep it limited. So it's a good thing you called me a couple of years ago and asked to do this. Anyway, I have just had the experience of a lifetime. Going through this cave, seeing all these beautiful cheeses and how they're made was something else. For example, the cow and milk, the cow and goat cheese milk that goes into this cheese comes from a part of the mountain. They come into the area for aging, and we were allowed to go through these aging caves. They take on all of the flavors that are in the cave. So we walked in, we saw this beautiful big bale of hay. Asked the question, why the bale of hay? Because that particular flavor is going to be part and parcel of the cheese. The Lhasa cheese that we sell here, I don't have it here at the moment, but we will have it, is aged to a stage where it looks like stone. So if you can imagine the square stones that are placed on top of the huts and the houses up in the mountain because of the weather up there, it was made to look like the stone that's so important to the area. How cool was that he would actually think of this? Anyway, the stone is in the cave, so it reminds people how beautiful this is going to be when it's all done and how important this is to the cheese. This also, they have the bale of hay in there, so that taste and the smell of the hay is going right into the cheese. There were there's pine wood, cherry wood, what was the other wood? Maple. That all of these cheeses are turned by hand every 10 days, and they're on this wood. So again, it's taking in the flavor of the area. The caves were medieval. I couldn't believe it. They were also bringing in an aqueduct from the mountains, was water. So they had to have 80% moisture in this area for the beautiful mold, which was a beautiful mold, to occur on these cheeses that are part of the aging process. So we could see the water that was coming in from the mountains into a little aqueduct and onto the floor, so it would be dripping in there. So it was like a damp cave. It was amazing to see that they also had a room that with the maple was El Cerro, which means maple. And Umberto called it, "This is our Canada room." I thought that was kind of cool. because he knew what we were all Canadians coming to this remote area. In fact, this fellow is so caring about everything he does. He bought the village. The village because he needed people to be up there looking after his cheese in the middle of winter when there was no way a car would get up into this area. So there's about 40 people that work up there year-round, turning the cheese, making sure it's perfect, and perfection it was. We had to don on our lab coats. Wish I'd brought one home, but I didn't. It wasn't flattering. And the blue slippers. Didn't have to wear headpieces. That was another nice thing. After that, when we were driving up through, we could see the beautiful Barolo, which actually makes up the cheese musk. If you see the top of this cheese, you'll see that it has amazing purple on the top. This is from the Nebbiolo grape that goes into Barolo wine. So guess what the right kind of wine to drink with this is? Barolo! And stay tuned because Herma might have a wine and cheese event in the near future, so that'll be fun. Grappa is another area. So this is cheese that's been soaked in grappa for a year before it's ready. When it's ready, and it's ready, we open this bag of cheese and we just, it's overwhelming with the aroma of grappa. And you know what? After you've tasted this cheese, you'll probably love grappa. We also do a cheese made with peppercorns, and one that, believe this or not, chestnut wrapped cheese. This chestnut wrapped cheese is all the chestnut trees of the area, and it is a mixture of, this particular one is cow and goat. Sometimes they'll use sheep and cow, but this time, because they had more goat's milk than they had sheep's milk, they mix it up. So there's never, ever going to be the same cheese. They're all going to be a little bit different, but they're all amazing. He has won so many awards in the area. Anyway, I'm a big fan, as you could clearly see. So I hope you've enjoyed our presentation today. Thank you.